And now we are live.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, episode 59. Everyone's a pundit. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you to my guests for joining me. The first time on Everyone's a Pundit, we got 5 guests, or I've got 4 other guests in the house. Maybe our 5th will enter at some point. But let me just let everybody introduce themselves and we will get into the show. Can we start with yourself, please, Kojo?
Yeah. Kojo here from the Free Midfield podcast, and also Footy Says. Man United fan, not too mad, not too happy, kind of in the middle. So, yeah, I'm all good today. But first, have me on, bro.
Wicked. JB, introduce yourself, please.
Man like JB, big Liverpool fan. I'm just happy to be here, Semps. So let's go.
You always say that, man. I'm happy to have you, bro. I'm happy to have you. Double D, introduce yourself, please.
Big up, Double D from the D&D Footy Factory. Big Liverpool fan, as you know. I think this is my fourth. Cap now, still.
One didn't go live because we had.
Oh yeah, that one, yeah. So yeah, I think the fourth one now, still. But yeah, pleasure to be back as always, man. Some proper footy chat, not some of this nonsense going about on the.
Yeah, always proper footy chat here on Everyone's a Pundit, man.
Yeah, man.
You get me. And last but not least, making his debut. Introduce yourself, please. That's you, Keenan.
From Red Talk TV, man.
Maybe
he's on a delay still.
From Red Talk TV, Manchester United podcast channel.
Yeah, I'll plug his stuff in the link in the description, as I will everybody else's. We may have to bear with us because I think that Keenan's on a bit of a delay. But yeah, man, today's going to basically be about Manchester United, or I should say, do it in order. Liverpool versus Manchester United. Liverpool at Anfield. Man United came there as leaders. Liverpool, second place, 3 points behind. It was a top of the table clash. And what did we make of the game, boys? Let me start with you, please, John. What did you make of the game, first of all?
It was a game it was a game that Man United had a genuine chance to take all 3 points. Like I believe Liverpool were there for the taking. And I think Ollie kind of mentioned it best in his interview. He was almost disappointed with the fact that they didn't kind of maybe, I don't know, adhere to his plans or his vision for the game, because he felt as if like you guys could have won and you really could have done that today. I think from a Liverpool perspective, I think for myself personally, I think the fact that we got a point, I think the fact that we didn't lose, I should say, is a huge thing. Because I think I mentioned this to some of my other Man United friends that this was a big game for Man United. And if they had won, the narrative would have been they're back, or, you know, they're going to get the 21, or they're going to be doing bits. And it was all for them to kind of come to Anfield and stake a claim on the league. So I think by us not losing, with everything that's happening with us, you know, at the club at the moment, I'll take the point. I'll take the point right now because we're not on form. And yeah, I think a point was the best that we could have got today, considering some of the chances that we missed.
Would you have said that before the game? Because we and you didn't speak before the game. So was you going into the game thinking, you know what, I'll take a point today? Or are you saying that on the way that the game then ended up being?
Okay, I actually predicted that we would win 1-0 or 2-1.
Okay.
Right? To answer your question, it came more from how the game played out, because I felt as if with our record, despite us not being on form at the moment, but I thought with our record at home and we do turn up for big games, generally speaking. That's why I gave us, even though we weren't on good form, I thought, do you know what, we got a huge record at home. It's amazing, and we could definitely take all 3 points against anybody. So I'm always going to back my team to win in it. But in the game, I think a point was I would have taken a point, because you could have won it at the end, like with that proper chance in it. So
Double D, would you agree with John? What are you saying about the game? Double D, I think your mic is
He's on mute.
he's on mute.
Oh man. Oh
Jesus
man.
Christ.
Oh,
It's
man.
all over the place today.
Nah, I bought the I had to check something on the basketball, and so I put it on mute because I didn't want to hear my in the background. Oh man! Oh man! Oh man! No, yeah, I agree with John. In hindsight, you take the point at the end of the day. I think in the first half, Liverpool started quite well in the first half. Thiago was trying things because he was being progressive. Sometimes 1 or 2 of the passes were overhit. Robertson got into some decent positions, but apart from that Firmino chance, weak team effort, and it was an easy save in the end for De Gea to have to make. But otherwise, apart from that, considering how much the ball Liverpool had, they weren't really testing De Gea. United grew in confidence as the game went on. But this is the... So, yeah, in hindsight, you take the point because the way that it played out, United obviously could have won it at the end. Bruno had a good chance and Pogba had a great chance at the end still when Alisson had to do a job at the end making the saves. But I've forgotten what it's like for us to score in the league, bruv. I've got the Crystal Palace game on the Sky Plus. I'm gonna reload that. I'm gonna reload that so I can remember us putting the ball in the back of the net. It's horrible to watch. No one is near us in terms of passes completed in the league at the moment, but the ideas that were there in the final third last season, they're just not there. They're just not there. Trent is off at the moment. He made a very good interception though. In the second half. I think it was Rashford that he got in front of. But I think United missed a tick here not starting Cavani, because apart from 1 or 2 nutmegs that Martial did, he didn't do enough. I think Cavani would have made some better runs in because I think 7 offsides in the first 35 minutes. United actually were trying to set out to go over the top, getting behind, but the runners were going too early in that. But it's just disappointing to see Liverpool devoid of ideas like this, and it goes to show how vital Jota in a short time at the club has been. Because we've had 1 or 2 games like this earlier on in the season, but then he'd bail us out with a winning goal.
Yeah.
So the rate, especially that Salah has scored at, and it's mad because he's still the top scorer in the Premier League this season, but he's probably only had about 4 proper great games all season. That Jota making that difference. So something needs to happen, man. He played, Fabinho was brilliant today. Alisson was good as well. But something needs to change. The energy in the midfield is not the same because 2 of our most influential midfielders are playing centre half at the moment. So it is what it is. But yeah, the way the game went, I thought, honestly, we were going to show up today against United. But the way the game went, you have to take the point because Liverpool are a rhythm team. And not having played, some of these players played last Friday, 9 days ago against Villa. But before that, some of these players played for almost 2 weeks. So it's just a complex one at the moment. And Burnley, we play Burnley on Thursday at Anfield. They're going to play an even lower block than what United were trying. So if the ideas aren't there again, it's going to be another goal of straw, man. It's like
you're in the gutter. You know I'm going to smoke Burnley. Don't worry about that.
I'm just being real, man.
Let
someone else come on before I talk for the rest of the show about.
John, you need to pick him up, man. You need to the gutter, boy. You ain't going to struggle against Burnley.
Come on, bro. Come on, D-Double, man. Come on.
Keenan, what did you make of the game from a Man United point of view?
From a Man United point of view, bro, I think Oli got it. He kind of got it wrong. To be fair, I don't know what other United fans, but in a game where obviously it's a big rivalry and it's a derby, and if you go into a derby and the opponents, they ain't got no defenders, no out and out centre backs, you're rubbing your hands there and you're thinking, this is 3 points. Lowest will come away with is a point, which is okay, but I was disappointed with Ali. He went for it. I mean, the boy not starting. Don't know if he's protecting him or whatnot. And then the big one, I think
Lindelof played well though.
Yeah, he did. Lindelof done well. Lindelof and Maguire, give him credit. The whole back line, I give him credit, to be fair.
Yeah, back line did well.
But as a Man United fan, I think like Ollie just got it slightly wrong with his selection today. And if you're a Liverpool fan, you must have been having a party or something when you seen Cavani wasn't starting, man. Because I think Liverpool fans might have been looking at Martial and Rashford and thinking, you know what, they're not in the heights of form at the moment. They're not really going to, and Henderson. So let them have it, you know what I mean? And we saw in the game, I don't even think Martial had a shot today or anything. He had one amazing run, which didn't account to Rashford. Poor again, football IQ. Just needs to level up to hit that world-class stage, I think, in my opinion. But from a Man United point of view, man, I think it's just the selection that got to me, bro. I just think if we had gone all out, started Bailly, started Cavani, I think 9 times out of 10 we could have came away with the 3 points there.
I hear that. I think Double D mentioned it about Cavani as well. Rashford started up top, isn't it? And I think the reason behind that was probably to try and play on the fact that Liverpool did have Fabinho and Henderson playing a centre back, so they probably went for the pace to play on the shoulder, and you could see we was always trying to force that early ball, but it wasn't working. And we can look at Martial and that, but personally for me, and I'm going to come to you now, Kojo, because I'm to hear what your thoughts are on the game. But Rashford hasn't been in good form for a while, and we see this from Rashford where he has these moments where he's playing poorly and he keeps playing, and you wonder, is he playing through an injury? Is it this? Is it that? We don't know. But today, that chance where he's running through and he has Cavani making a run to the left, was slightly too on. That for me is where Rashford lets himself down. As Keenan said, the football IQ, the decision making, it needs to get better. What's your take on the game, Kojo? And I know you wasn't, before the game, me and you spoke, you wasn't too bothered about Lindelof starting ahead of Bailly. But overall, what did you make of the game?
The game kind of panned out the way I expected it to. I thought if we're going to win this game, it would be in the second half. I thought that, United take time in big games in the games that they've drawn anyway, they take time to really find their groove or try and step up a level at some point. And with Liverpool, when you go to Anfield, yes, you do have to be cautious. But in this situation, I sort of agree with what Keenan said, but at the same time, don't, in the sense that I don't think Ole got it wrong because we still created chances to win the game. But I also do understand that Cavani should have started this game as well. And I do agree with that because anyone that's been watching Fabinho at centre-back this season, it's not about recovery or anything like that. His position is fantastic. He reads the game well. So when he goes against defenders, he's tackling them with no problem, or he's going face-to-face with them. So you need someone with the intelligence and the movement to, challenge them on a more of a dangerous scale. And if you're playing Pogba on the right, Pogba's going to whip balls in. So you need someone to meet those balls. Martial doesn't attack enough balls, and neither does Rashford. Rashford's decision-making has been poor for a long time. It's not improving. He still plays like an under-23 player in terms of his IQ. He's improved in his technique. He's improved in his shooting. His passing is getting better. So technically, he is getting better. But when it comes to the things that take you from maybe a B+ to an A, he's not doing the things that make you an A player. You know what I mean? The Lindelof thing didn't bother me because before he got injured this season, Lindelof was in good form. So I didn't understand the panic. I understand Bailly's also been good this season since he's played, but Lindelof hasn't been bad. So I was like, well, I'm not really bothered whether he starts or not. So that was cool with me. But the fact that we just didn't take our 2 biggest chances, it just annoys me. That's what annoys me because I wasn't too worried about this game. All the pressure technically was on Liverpool. They're the champions. They looked as the much better side, despite the injuries at the back. They still got their front three, so people were expecting them to do a lot more damage, despite the fact that the front three hasn't been in form. But so actually, I was quite relaxed about the game anyway, and I thought that in that kind of situation would actually suit United, and it did. It did. I think the players played well at the back, but Pogba, for me, Pogba should be aiming for the roof of the net. I think you just got to blast that past the goalkeeper, not towards the goalkeeper. You got to blast it above him. If it hits the bar, I can forgive. At least you're trying to aim away from the goalkeeper, get it past him, bang. Bruno Fernandes, his chance would have taken him from a 2 to a 5. just because he scored. Because today that guy was so disappointing, and it annoys me that he escaped criticism from all levels. He was appalling.
But coach, just one sec to ask you a question. Don't you think his performance was like when you played City in the Cup? Because he never had the space. People never gave him space for him to be able to ping those passes that he can play or whatever. So it was like he was just on the pitch. I'm telling you, there were certain passages of play, but I didn't see he was playing until when he was on the floor arguing when the Man United player got fouled. You get me? I'm sitting there and I'm thinking like, rah, you get me? And he's had numerous performances like that, but then he might have scored a goal or whatever. Don't get twisted, he's always working, but it was mad. As you're saying, it would have changed. It was like, what did he do? It would have taken him up there. But yeah, obviously, yeah. Continue.
The words about him, I feel like he was getting into good pockets of space where he was receiving the ball, but his passes he wasn't pulling off his passes. That's as simple as it gets. And you are there to be a creator. I prefer creation over retention. If you're trying to create something, trying to make stuff happen, and your team is not doing enough to help aid that cause, I can forgive you. But on this occasion, all his passes were just atrocious from start to finish. And the only time he was able to finally get into a space and make an impact, he shot straight at the keeper. I understand there was pressure there, but for me, again, if you are a top player, the same thing as Pogba, you got to try and lift that. Because the first thing the keeper's going to do, or if a defender's there, the first thing they're going to do is put their feet in, so you can't put it low. You've got to try and lift it. If you lift it, you force the keeper into a save with his hands, maybe it goes above him. If defenders in the way they're trying to block, VAR these days hits the arm, even if it's not intentional, you can make something happen, But he didn't do that. So today he made me angry, man. Watching him was just infuriating. So I'm quite disappointed in him.
You know what I'll say though? You see, with those two chances, yeah, they didn't. They focused on Pogba's one in the after the game inside the studio. With Pogba's one, I think the majority of men here have played ball. When you've got that type of a chance, probably you're trying to think, let me keep over the ball and not blaze it over the bar. Do you know the amount of man there that will blaze that over the bar? So I hear what you're saying, Kojo, about trying to go high. Pogba's probably worried about going high and blazing over the bar. So he's probably compensated too much trying to get the technique rather than the angle. And I'm not trying to make an excuse for him. He should tuck that away. He's got to go to Alisson's right. He's got to go to that side of the goal for me. Do you know what I mean? And with Bruno's, I said this as well to my mate. You have to try and lift that. There's no point going on the floor there. You have to try and lift it. And he's seeing the ball come as well. That chance is as good as Pogba's chance. He sees the ball come all the way, and then he meets it nicely. Do you know what I'm saying? So we had the two best chances. We didn't take it. John, are you concerned that it's 3 consecutive games now that Liverpool have not scored? Does that concern you at all?
I don't think concern is the right word. I think it's more because it's not that we're not creating chances. Like, do you get it? Like, it's like we're still in games.
Didn't really create any today, though, bro.
Yeah, but we still had chance. Like Firmino had a good chance to score. It was just a plain stuff.
Yeah.
And I was saying to the boys in my Liverpool group that if those chances fell to say a Jota, that game it pans out differently. And obviously, obviously that's if buts and maybes. Cool.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that I think in all the games that I've watched, there's just a lack of well, I think we're off form for starters. I think that's clear to see, like at the moment. So I'm not entirely concerned, but I'm more like if this form continues, like if we keep, if this continues for, say, because we've got like a block of games, which in my opinion is crucial to our season. So we need to kind of get through these games. And if I don't see an upturn in performance, then I'll start to be concerned. But right now we're just in a bit of form. Like at the end of the day, Everton were top of the league at one point and their form dipped. Spurs were top of the league at one point and their form dipped. So all I keep hearing is a crazy season. It's COVID, this, that, and the third. We don't know what's going to happen. So that's where I'm at right now in terms of my level of concern. So,
right, I'm just looking at your games. So you got us in the FA Cup. You got Burnley first, and then
Thursday,
us in the FA Cup, and then you play Spurs, and then you got West Ham, Brighton. You will tuck away. Then you play Man City. Then you play Leicester. Then your Champions League RB Leipzig. Then you play the Merseyside derby. And then
this is what I'm saying. This game was so, and in my opinion, sorry to cut you off, Sam, but this game was so important for us because it gives, I believe, a win against Man United, no matter whoever is in a table, it gives you that belief and that confidence that we're still doing it, we're still performing at the level that we need to be, and it shuts everyone up. It shuts everyone down, and then therefore you have the confidence to now say, "Ray, we can go into these run of games now, which are not going to like all those games you mentioned, bar the Brighton game and the Burnley one. They're tough games. On like football, it gives it like a rating of red, green, or amber, I think, depending on who you're playing. It's like that, bro. It's like it's all red, bro. It's all red. So if we're not performing, like it's going to be peak, bro. So, and I think it's this batch of games as well where it's going to be, in my opinion anyway. Obviously, I don't know what's going to happen, but
I think going to this comment here, massive concern from Cannon. Massive concern, no excuses. Lads up top just not on form and not linking up together, but need Hendo to come into midfield and is so underrated in our system. So it's actually a question that I wanted to pose to you Liverpool fans, because personally I think that up until the final third, you are actually performing well. I don't think there's an issue that you're moving the ball well. I thought, even though Double D said that Trent wasn't playing well, I still thought the way he was switching the ball from right back to left back to Robertson is what you lot have been doing. You know what I mean? Inside the midfield, Wijnaldum, Thiago was doing their thing. So I think it's just literally when you come to the final third, like Double D mentioned earlier, it's not clicking. You haven't, usually you're on telepathy in a little ball over the top, Mane, header, it's just not working. But I had a question on here that I wrote down. Do you think that Henderson and Fabinho playing centre back is actually contributing to, because before I was saying, well, that's the defense. Your defense isn't a problem. But do you think that they're actually contributing to the lack of creativity going forward now?
Oh, yeah, of course, because as I said, they're the two most influential. Even though, don't get twisted, Thiago won a lot of balls today, but they're the most influential in terms of intercepting, and they can both ping it as well.
And then starting attacks.
Yeah, starting the attack. Since he's come to the club, funnily enough, it's not even the front three. Fabinho has been the player that Man United have had the most problems with because he intercepts and then he plays that little dinking diagonal ball over the top. He set up a Mane goal for it a couple of seasons ago when we beat you 3-1. That's the person. Man City have problems with him as well. So with them at centre half, you've not got that chicken over in the midfield. Henderson as well. Any injury or whatever there's been, or when Hendo was out last season, that was when you're looking at it and then you're seeing, teams are dominating the midfield a bit more against Liverpool now because Hendo's not there. So without that there, them at centre half, the play, but certain times there was no urgency. We got the ball wide to Robertson. Robertson usually goes straight down. He was passing it back or passing it sideways on that lot. And it's like, don't get twisted. This was bound to happen in the league at a point because for the last couple of seasons, the amount of points that Liverpool have been getting has been outrageous. So it was bound to happen, but it's the indecision in the box. Firmino had another chance in the first half where you just like, shoot, and he took another touch, and then when he did hit it, it got blocked, and there was lots of that. Salah in the box, could have shot, extra touch, then United were able to crowd him out. So as Semps is saying, we're getting into the positions, but it's the decisions there. Against Palace, every decision went in. So don't get twisted.
Yeah.
With the amount of touches that we're having, if we do that against Burnley, we can, as you're saying, we can clap them.
Yeah.
But it's mentality. I think Liverpool, though they were at home, though there weren't any fans there, were thinking, right, if we win this, go back to the top. And I think United, that played as well. Though again, there was no fans, because I'm telling you, if Pogba or Fernandes get that chance on Wednesday against Fulham, it's going top bins.
Yeah.
But I think they were thinking, what if we score here, we're gonna chances.
They muffed them low too quick.
a couple seasons ago, obviously it was on the floor and it wasn't as crowded. Do you remember when Martial did that madness when you lot were away at Fulham and passed it to Pogba and there was no angle for the shot and he went left footed into the top bins? So you're sitting there and when you keep on watching that chance, I'm thinking, right, Liverpool got life here, because Pogba puts that in the net. You know what I'm saying? And it shouldn't have come to that, because with all the ball that we had, the thing should have been done from early. Extra pass. But yeah, what you said about Trent was obviously in terms of him spreading the play, but because he's our playmaker, I know at the top of his game what he can do. He played some wicked passes to Robbo. Thiago did some wicked switches and that as well. I thought Shaqiri started lively, but then because he got the booking, I think he was then in and out of the game. But
not even that, bro. It was his first start in the league, bro. And that's another. There's a lot of mitigating circumstances that I can harp on about, but you know, like it was Thiago's first start at Anfield. Let's get that in there, and we're already halfway through the season. Like, do you see what I'm saying?
Come back a January side.
First game, he played his first league game for us in God knows how long. Like, you see what I'm saying? And then you've got, and then there's Ginny, and obviously, like with, I think he's a baller, but I think he's played too much football this season already. So there's so many things I could harp on about, but you know, I'm not gonna.
Can I ask a question?
Point in it. Go on.
Can I ask a question? Why did Shaqiri start? Because that one was a random one out of nowhere.
That was a weird one, yeah.
Creativity. I like the fact that he started. That creativity is needed in there, because teams are being able to just play the low block, and then if it goes wide and the ball is not great in, they're able to get through. So I think, but as JB said, because it was his first start for a while, I think that him playing with more minutes under his belt, I think that will turn out to be very effective, personally, myself. Yeah.
You know what? Coming over to you, Keenan, because, you know, JB has said there and Double D have said about the players that they're missing. You know, Thiago's first start at Anfield all season. Yeah. We've got Shaqiri hasn't started. And you said earlier you think Ollie got it wrong. What did you make of the McFred partnership today? Because it's something that I guess that we all like. Kojo, you're gonna get your chance to speak. I can see you're itching to say but it was a partnership I think every Man United fan with sense knew was coming. But what did you think of them? What did you make of them today? Be honest. Talk your truth.
To be fair, to be honest, you know what? Looking back at it, you'd have to watch it again to fully criticize them. But for me, it just wasn't their day today. I think the manner of the game, and then the going up against one of the best midfielders in the world in Thiago, the way he just busted today, man. He was just you know. I don't think
popping it around them, but like,
no, I have to say this. Yeah, no, I have to say this. Yeah, as football fans, tell me you just can appreciate Thiago for like you can just you don't have to rate him as a baller, but can you just appreciate what my man does with it? Because it's, and I haven't seen. That's what I'm saying. Like, as a Liverpool fan, I haven't seen it in my team ever. So this guy is just here balling out. He's making things look easy. Like, anyway.
What I would say though, is he was playing against McFred. So it was easy.
I'm begging. Don't call him that, please. I'm begging.
Kojo, what did you think of their performance, please?
Man said McTominay and Fridge.
Bro, listen. If you thought I was disgusted by Bruno, listen, the words I don't have the vocabulary for them two.
What, McFred?
I'm gonna call them McTominay and Fred. See, McTominay is.
He started okay.
Did he?
He made a couple interceptions early on when we
Yeah,
took
I didn't see
I thought you meant he started okay as in he walked onto the pitch safely because honestly, he's just the thing is. I understand that I understand that he's passionate and he's determined, and he wears the United shirt on his sleeve. He's got the DNA, whatever the hell that is. But the guy just isn't of the level required for us to take that next step, and that's okay. I don't know why people struggle with that. When people talk about him or criticize him, it's you're not backing a United player, he came through the system, and all that. The guy can be a squad player. The guy is not a starter for the big games.
Exactly.
That's just as simple as it gets.
Who else would you have played?
Pardon?
Who else would you have played in?
I would have kept Matic on because Matic has been in good form.
Matic has been playing well,
the question was he fit? And he was fit. So there was
He was on the bench, right? So yeah.
So so he should have started. And the thing is, there's nothing wrong with the guy being a squad player. I've heard the comparisons to Darren Fletcher. Do you know what Darren Fletcher did in big games? What has McTominay done even remotely close to what Darren Fletcher did in big games? Man's got a double in the 4-3 against City. Tell me he's done anything close to that. And I swear, if anyone comes to the comments and mentions Arsenal, I'll put them leave. I swear that I don't even want to hear that game, right? Like, he's just not of the level required. And I think that's okay. Be a squad player. I'm not saying sell him. I'm saying, he's just not the guy.
Yeah.
As for Fred is too in and out. I don't know. He has, in his good games, he has a lot more time drifting in and out rather than actually being good for the whole 90 minutes. So here and there, he'll make good challenges, good interceptions, maybe run and dribble the ball forward. I remember he beat Thiago once and then took the ball forward. I was thinking, okay, you're doing something. But then his end product, he must have left that in Shakhtar because it's got to the point where I don't know what he contributes when he's on the ball. Off the ball, yes, energy. He wins balls back and all that, so I can praise him for that. He did that today again, but I need you to be good on the ball as well, or possess a certain quality that you can add to the team, So, and what annoys me more is the fact that because those two are playing, Pogba was put on the right.
As a
winger. He wasn't a midfielder. He was a winger. The guy was near the corner flag doing dribbles.
He was doing the job though, right? Like I'm sure Oli mentioned.
This is where I agree with the Ole criticism because the guy, you've played him before on the left, you played Rashford on the right, it worked. So why don't you just swap them over? And why don't you put Martial up top if you really want to play Martial? Or why not just drop Martial, who has not been in form, who is not finishing clinically against Burnley? He couldn't finish his dinner at all. So play Cavani, So it's stuff like that just irritates me. But honestly, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that partnership again because at this point, the only good performance they have was against Leeds, and anyone can open Leeds. Crawley did, so I'm not even trying to hear about it.
there was
sending shots.
There was a bit, and I know that you Man United fans would have been mad. Where I know JB remember it as well. I think it was near the start of the second half. I think Fabinho played the ball to Thiago, and McFred were there, and Thiago dribbled around both of them and then pinged it. And I'm thinking, anyone who didn't want them to start, any Man U fan didn't want them to start will be cussing right now. He just shot him with half.
Double D. I'm gonna need that. You see that McFred name? I need it to die. I don't want to hear that.
Keenan, did you have something that you wanted to say on that partnership earlier?
Just going off what Kojo said, this is why I don't agree with Ali's selection today because he's just mentioned Matic. Matic should have been starting if we're going off the Burnley game. You know what I mean? He's form and he's playing well. Matic and Pogba, they got a good connection together, and I think Pogba did deserve to start alongside Matic today. What Oli does when it comes to big games, he thinks, let me just drag Fred and McTominay. And then them two can put on a Xavi and Iniesta performance.
No, but you know what though? If I was Oli, and again, obviously, I don't watch Man United week in, week out, but like just based off the players' physical attributes and what Liverpool do and how we play football, you need legs in that midfield. And as good as Matic is, he doesn't have legs. And it nearly even worked for Oli. I don't think he got it wrong. Me personally, I don't think they played that bad. I'm not sure what it could be a case I'm not watching them as close as you guys are, but to me, it felt like they were in the way when they needed to be in the way, or they made an interception. So
that was the defense, though, JB. That was the defense, because one thing that I've been saying in this whole run, and you have to be careful because some Man United fans take it out of context. They think that I'm being negative. I'm happy with where we are, but I can also highlight where I see that we are still lacking. And the fact is that we don't keep the ball well enough for a team that's meant to be a top side, that has the players that we have, and a team that is top of the league. We should be able to keep the ball a hell of a lot better. Now, don't get me wrong. Today, Ollie's come in, as we all knew he would, and played a counter-attacking football. I agree. I'm not sure why Rashford started up front. I didn't expect Martial to start today, but if he was going to start, then play Martial up front, because what we know is that Rashford can't play that number 9 role. Everyone talks about Martial can't. We definitely know Rashford can't. Pogba on the right, we was disjointed. They didn't know what they were doing in that first half. And for me, you've got Donny van der Beek on the bench, and sometimes it's not all about running. Energy merchants, passion merchants. It's about quality on the football pitch, quality to keep the ball, quality to pass and move like what Thiago was doing. And we've got to find a way, in my opinion, Ollie has to find a way to change things and get somebody like Donny van der Beek on the pitch to try and have some sort of ball retention. Do you know what I'm saying? Because, today we know that Liverpool aren't functioning in the final third. But on another day, they score 2 or 3 goals against us. Do you know what I'm saying? They open us up and they score 2 or 3, because there's only so much that you can just rely on you and say that's another good defensive display. That's another good defensive display. We can't keep giving up so much possession of the football, man. It just can't keep happening. And for me, Ollie didn't go into that game. I think there was a comment earlier that in these big games, we're going into them not to lose. That's why you're seeing 0-0 against City, 0-0 against Chelsea, 0-0 again today. We're not going into these games to try and win. We're going in there to make sure that we're difficult to beat. And if we can create that moment, we score, i.e. Bruno and Pogba. But it wasn't to be today, man. It wasn't to be.
But Semps, Keenan and coach, right? As you're saying, Ollie's bottled it with his selection, because I'm glad you mentioned Van der Beek, because that was the next name. That was the name that I was going to say. The best football, in my opinion, you lot might differ, that I've seen from Man United this season was in the League Cup in the first half against Everton. And who was on the pitch? Van der Beek and Pogba. You get what I'm saying? You lot moved the ball quickly. There was interchanging and there was overlapping. The way Liverpool played at the moment, if you went in like that today, you could have been the first team to beat us at home in almost 4 years. So you're going to look back on it and you're going to think, now, damn, we really could have won this game today. But I think, as you said, he's bottled his selection. Don't get twisted, though. I was confused not to see Bailly, though Lindelof done well, because without Bailly's blocks recently, you lot wouldn't be top. Regardless of the goals you scored against Wolves, against Villa, etc., he's been making these crazy blocks, like late in the game as well, like last 10 minutes or whatever. But Shaw did very well today. I'm the first man to cuss Luke Shaw. Shaw did very, very, very well today.
Man of the match today, in my opinion.
Well. I just want to say something about Luke Shaw. I feel like every time he plays against Mo Salah, he has some of his best games for United. I feel like I don't remember a game, maybe bar the one where he won 2-0 last season, I think it was. But most times he has a good game against man, and I don't know what it is he's got over him, because he never seems to be able to run past him or try and do anything against him to make something happen. And it's the same with Aaron, him as well. Like, I think he always seems to have a good game against Mane, and he doesn't really have it easy. But then again, saying that he doesn't have it, I don't. Anyone against him is not going to be an easy game. So
when we're set up the way we are, and we're defensively compact, Wan-Bissaka will have a great game all of the time because he doesn't get caught out of position. Generally speaking, it's those games when we're attacking or we can get pulled over the place where Wan-Bissaka can get caught out, and he's one-on-one defending. It doesn't matter what type of attacker you are, whether you're Sterling, whether you're Mane, whether you're Mahrez. It don't matter who you are. Wan-Bissaka can stand up to you, but it's just his positional sense which usually lets him down. And today we was really compact, so there wasn't any spaces for him to really get lost in his position. So he had another good game today.
We caught you lot, Semps, and the ball got put out. I think Robertson actually rolled up the line to Mane, and Mane went to chop him, and he made a slide tackle near the corner flag.
Pulled out, innit? Just pulled out last minute.
I'm telling you, no, not that one. The other one, he actually won the ball.
Yeah. I know you.
If Mane got past him,
he's gone.
Firmino and Salah. I was so mad. I was like, he was in. Because United, I don't know what the position in United were doing coming back. They weren't in place. So if he got put, but yeah, really good side attack. But I did well. They did well. So
what? So
go on.
United fans, is it that you're not happy with today's performance? I'm a little bit confused about where you guys actually stand on like where United are at and Oli as your manager, because I get this kind of this conflicted feeling that like, yeah, we're top, but do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, we're top, but this and but that. So, like, how do you guys?
Let me let the boys answer that.
To be fair, I'm not really happy with it, you know.
But you're top, like, do you get it?
But listen to this. This is the year of 2021, yeah, and you got Ole Gunnar Solskjaer playing for 1 point against Liverpool when you're there for the taking, bro. Like,
that's true.
This is Man United, and we're aspiring to be the club we once were. So if we're aspiring to be that club, you know, the United fans here, we already know what we were, you know what I mean? And if we were going in today's game, let's say 10 years ago, you guys would already have been beaten just by, you know, mind games and just the aura of Sir Alex Ferguson and the players and whatnot. So that's us one. But Oli today, as I said, the selection was wrong, in my opinion. He played for a point, which I'd say we did. And, like, you know, if we want to get back to the best as we can be, we can't be playing for points, you know, when you're there for the taking. Obviously, you got no centre-backs, but credit to Hendo and Fabinho, but you should be playing for a point, you know what I mean? You should be starting Cavani straight away, you know, one of the world's best strikers. And he's on the bench when you haven't got a central defender. You're shooting yourself in the foot, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He should be playing, man. But on the performance today, I wasn't really happy with the performance. We did set up for a counter, but how many times did we see that counter? Did we maintain the ball great? I wouldn't say we did, because there was a lot of times I should have had it in the final third that he just couldn't pick a United shirt out to stay alive. We almost got done playing out the back as well. I don't know if you guys seen that.
Yeah. Harry Maguire.
Yeah.
Had a howler, bro.
Yeah.
Look
at Coach's face.
Yeah, because look,
Oh, you know,
Kojo is a coach, yeah. So Kojo, for me personally, yeah, when I watch Man United try and play the ball out from the back, it hurts me. It hurts me all of the time. And then I know there's a lot of people, some people in the comments now that will say, you know, have to give Oli his credit and all of this. And I'm not gonna start badgering Oli, you know, I'm not here to do that. But you can see the way we play out from the back, and then you watch Man City play, and you see the way Man City play out from the back. You see the way Man City move the ball, the way their players are creating angles. You're a coach. What do you think when you see Manchester United play out from the back?
I don't want to bang too much joke, but you know when is it Michael Dapper, when you have that meme when he goes, "You ain't got the facilities for this big man." That replays my head over and over. Thing is, yeah, Maguire tries to bring the ball forward and play it simple, but I don't know what he thinks simple is. like he dribbles forward with intent, and I feel like when he beats one player, he gets a bit too excited. It was in the first half when he played this sort of, I don't know, I don't want to call it a through ball because that's actually insulting to actually through balls, but he tried to play a pass and he went for a goal kick, and I sat here and I was just like, you see, this is
I know what that was. Yeah.
You know, I was like, this is why you should the thing is, United's defense is like this. Shaw is not a passer. Wan-Bissaka's not a passer. So you already got an issue with the fullbacks. So the issue is Lindelof is the only one alongside Baye that can pass in that defense. Because Lindelof has shown that he's got range. Yes, it is inconsistent, but he's shown he's got range to make passes. So, like, for example, it was an assist for Rashford, I believe, a couple of games ago.
Yeah. All over the top. Yeah.
And Eric Bailly, you've seen already in terms of like dribbling on the ball and passing out of the back. He's very comfortable. He's not scared to take a player on, beat him. But those two don't play together. So if someone's going to bring the ball out, it has to be one of those two in the partnership. It can't be
Maguire.
It can't be him. It cannot be him. He's not capable of doing so. So when I watch that, in my head, I'm like, okay, do I get onto Solskjaer for this? Because as a coach, as manager, you should be saying, all right, look, I don't want you to do this. But then when you watch England, when you watch him at Leicester, he was still doing the same thing. So it's just something that he believes. Yeah, exactly. Even at home, so it's something that he firmly believes in his heart he can do. And the thing is, he needs to understand that you are a club where you have been made captain and you're in a bigger spotlight. So now, when you're playing at home, no one really cared. If we're being honest, as I don't want to be disrespectful to that club, but no one really cared. When you're playing at Leicester, people care to an extent because they had won Premier League before, but you weren't part of that team. And you weren't doing things with that Leicester team. So no one really checks on you like that. But you play for United now. The whole world's watching and they can see it. And what they see is not good. So I would encourage him to learn to play simple. When I say simple, it's I would beg one of the midfielders to come back and take the ball from me, or I'll give it straight to my partner and let him bring the ball out. I think that's the best way to do it. He needs to work on his positioning. If he can work on his positioning as a defender and make sure that he doesn't get beat more often than not, then cool. Let the other guys do the rest. But instead of bringing the ball out, bro, he's just not the guy. Do I think it is? Remember when he scored that blast against Tranmere and he stood there and he went like this? I think his confidence is there. I don't want to strip away his confidence, but he's just not the guy for it. And it's okay.
What I would say though is I won't put all the blame on Harry Maguire, because when you're playing out from the back, it has to be a system that you're working to. So it has to be like a well-oiled cogged machine. Yeah. Everybody has to know their jobs, because different players have to pull different players around the pitch to make space for you to play out from the back. And when Man United play out from the back, for me, it just looks like they're freestyling. Like they don't quite know exactly what they're doing. And Maguire gets the ball and he gets a lot of the flack. But I'm thinking about, where are his options? Do you know what I'm saying? Like if you just watch it, where are his options? And then obviously when we're watching on TV, we can only see so far because of the screen. But really and truly, in a team, there's movement happening behind the screen that we can't see, that's helping create space. And I'm thinking to myself, there just can't be the right movement, because every time we play out from the back is too slow and players are getting caught on the ball because the spaces aren't being created.
And bro, sorry to cut you off, but that's why Fred and McTominay can't play with him in that role, because they can't carry the ball out.
Yeah.
Matic may not have the legs for it, but I've seen Matic at least do something on the dribble with the ball.
Yeah.
Have a more intelligent option. That's why those two can't play with those guys. Yes, they can help the defense out, but when we need to control the ball, they're just not the guys for it, you know?
Yeah. I hear that. You know, just before we move on from this point, I'll answer your question as well, JB. What we've got here, great point, poor performance, but sometimes championship runs require such a game as you took a point off your rival and maintained first position. For now, I'm glad that he put for now, because this is my position on today's game. Before the game, I would have taken a point. I even said it. I'll take a point and run as fast as I can, because, you know what I mean? We're going to Anfield. It's not a given. We ain't won. They ain't lost the game there in like 4 seasons, 3 seasons, whatever it is. It's mad. But I also said I want to see us give a good account of ourselves, because if we are going to be this team that's going to go on to win the Premier League, we have to show better performances. and you have to then start taking points off of your rivals. Now, some may say that in a season like this where people are dropping points left, right, and center, if we can do what we're doing, keep your clean sheets and nick your points here and there from the big ones, and then go and beat the minnows, that we will be cool. But there's no guarantees that this run will continue to keep going for us and that we are going to keep beating, the other teams in the table. So we do then have to start taking your points off your big teams. In any era that we've played in where we was dominant, we would go and take points off your big teams. Do you know what I mean? You win your game at Old Trafford, you'll nick a point away. That's not always going to happen. Last season, for, how poor we were or whatever, in the big games, we were good. 6 points against City, 6 points against Chelsea. We got a point against Liverpool, which could easily have been 3, 4 points against Spurs. Do you know what I mean? It's only Arsenal that's our bogey team. So, JB, to answer your question, I need to see us perform better, because I don't think that this is consistent, that this is sustainable for the rest of the season. That's what I mean. And it's all well and good being top now, but there's still 20 games left, I believe, of the season, or whatever, not 20 games, but of the season left. There's still a long way to go. City are now quietly going about their business, doing their thing. And we're now in a position where I'm thinking, it's not just about finishing top 4. We could actually, we're top now, and January the 17th, we should be able to now push and mount a title challenge. And to do that, we can only do that, in my opinion, by putting in better performances and keeping the ball better, being better with the ball. And that's what I want to see. That's what I've been disappointed with in even in this run. And I've said it, we got 7 points against Aston Villa, Wolves, and Leicester. But you know what? When you watch those games, it could easily have been 3 or 2 points, It could easily have been that. It really could. And football is fine margins like that.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Do you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. No, I hear what you're saying, man.
What we got here, United historically won the league titles, losing a lot of points from their top teams, but won all the...
It's a different league now. It's a different league now.
No, we weren't losing our points from the top teams.
You're being there.
Yeah, it wasn't that.
Kind of where you been?
Back in the 90s, though, I can't speak on all the other teams, but you lot, when you won the league, you used to come Anfield in the 90s and get slapped. I can record numerous 2-0 victories, but then when it came to the late 90s, I remember you beat us 3-1 and 3-2. Apart from that, I can remember a 2-0 with Redknapp and McManaman, 2-0 with Fowler scoring twice. We were giving it to you. So for Liverpool, I can't aid the other teams, but it's about accumulating points. But I hear you 100% about Man City.
The thing is, you weren't even a big team them days. You hadn't won the league in most time. You know what I mean? You don't want one of the top tiers.
In the 90s, that weren't even 10 years from when we last won the league. What are you talking about, man? I'll tell you. Put some respect on it, man. Yeah?
No, we were there battling the Blackburns and the Newcastles and them things there.
Stop it.
As I said before we were on air, you've missed a chance today. You've missed a tick, as they said, because since Fergie left, apart from that 2-0 when Matter scored twice, every time you come Anfield, it's just this defensive business. You're not even trying to go. At least Fergie used to come and try and attack us and come and beat us, and he did on quite a few occasions, but over his 20 odd years or whatever. But this is like, I understand what man's saying.
JB,
You're thinking, what?
Sorry to cut you there, but John, this one here, and it was a question I was going to ask you, Liverpool fans. Do you think that your title is slipping away this season? Do you think you're going to be able to retain it, John?
Yes, we can retain it. It's just all about, because I still think that we're the best team, if not the second best team in the league by far. And I think on our day, and if given again, all the injuries, and if we had the players that we wanted in, and all things being all good, then because my thing is like, at the moment, because we don't have a certified centre back, like I don't think any team has won the league without a certified centre back. So that's where I think we're gonna kind of struggle. and I think it's been proven, you know, as of late. But yeah, we can still win the league. It's just going to be very, very hard, and there's going to be a lot of results like this that's coming up. So yeah, I think
Double D, what do you reckon? Liverpool can still win the league?
I actually said City quite early on because they were drawing games and people were writing them off, and I said nah, but they're not conceding, because what you have to realise that people, it's the knee-jerk reaction to when City lost 5-2 against Leicester, but Leicester had 3 penalties in that.
Yeah.
So if you take out them 5 goals that they conceded there, they've barely conceded. Stones is coming out and playing with Ruben Diaz. He's looking at flipping prime Costa Curta, bro. I mean,
I know, boy. It's mad.
I think they've let in 1 in 9 or 1 in 10 when they played each other in all competitions. I'm like, where the hell does this come from? You get me? Like, some City fans were telling me last season, even when we were like 20 odd points clear, they were like, oh, if Laporte was fit, we'd be top. But when Laporte was fit this season, Stones and Diaz were the ones doing the job, and now he's injured anyway. So yeah,
it's more Diaz than Stones, by the way. Like, don't let the media fool you, man. It's more Diaz than Stones. Don't get jumped by Stones. He's still John Stones, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? He's still John Stones. He's not an improved player. He's not a new signing. He's still John Stones. So
wherever it is, wherever it is, the partnership is working. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I hear that.
I'd go City because I think United with these. I don't get twisted. As coach has said, as Semps has said, this slow playing out. Because you're so good away at the moment, you're thinking on Wednesdays already 3 points against Fulham. Scott Parker, since he's got these loan signings in, has got these men organised. If you go there, be complacent. The home record will go. Sorry, the away record will go when you least expect it. Because against 10 men yesterday, until Mount scored, they were having up Chelsea with 10 men. In transitions, they are so effective, and Greece is doing the box-to-box madness. And this is the thing. So I hear that. But the thing is, Ollie will go in there, and you lot can't even predict what his starting lineup's going to be. And that's the problem now.
Yeah, that's an issue for me. I don't know what Coach and Keenan, you guys think, because that's another reason why I would have just played. I would have played Bailly, and I would have played Matic, and I would have played Pogba, where they played like, okay, if they weren't fit to play or you was worrying about energy levels, I get it, but I would like to see us play a starting 11 and just see that 11 play, so the team can get used to playing. Like, we're changing it like every single game. We're changing the system every single game, and I don't think that's good. Coach, what do you think of that? Am I overreacting there, or what's your thoughts?
No, there's nothing wrong with that. First of all, your formation has to be set. I mean, I understand this season we've either played a diamond or 4-3-3.
4-2-3-1.
Or 4-2-3-1, depending on whichever way he puts it down. So one way or another, you found the system now, innit? In terms of you found 3 formations, I think that's okay. But then you haven't got a certified starting 11. That's where the problem is. So, for example, yes, Man United under Fergie, we have certified starting 11s, but in certain games, Park would start.
Yeah, of course.
But it would make sense as to why they start, rather than us questioning why are they here now, So I think with United, like, for example, when we played Burnley, the fact that he played Pogba, Matic, and Bruno in the midfield 3 made sense to me, because you went out there to completely dominate them. You did, and you got the W, which you did, because that's what you should be doing. So you go to Liverpool now, and you change it up, but then there are question marks over certain players. Martial shouldn't have started, but he started anyway. It's that kind of stuff. But I do agree that you do need to have a certified starting 11. But then the issue with United is this: how many of the players are consistent enough for us to say that should be our starting 11 30? Because as much as I praised Lindelof at the beginning, he's been good this season, but we all know Lindelof's shaky. That's why people prefer Bailly over him. That's number one.
It's not even Bailly over him. You know what it is? It's the Bailly and Maguire partnership versus the Lindelof and Maguire partnership. If it was me, I would play Bailly and Lindelof. If it was me, you know what I'm saying? Like, Lindelof isn't actually the problem. It's just when he plays with Maguire, they're both too slow. I saw someone mention today is that when them two play together, we drop however many yards back. Do you know what I'm saying? and we can play further up the field, squeeze the midfield a little bit more when Bailly and Maguire play, because Bailly's got the pace to recover. So I think that's more of the issue than.
But the reason why we have to do that is, I don't want to pin it solely on him, but this is where it gets difficult with Ole, because when you're starting Lindelof and Maguire, you don't need to bring in Fred and McTominay. Just play Matic and Pogba in that midfield too. Just keep it. There's actually no need to change it, because remember when we came back from lockdown, you had those two. Those two played behind Bruno, and it worked.
And it was working.
So there was actually no need to change it. You know what I'm saying? So the Fred and McTominay thing, I understand. Yes, they had a partnership here and there, and we beat Leeds and all that stuff. But in reality, the other two actually work, and they work well. So that's where my frustration is with him. If you know your best 11, you know your best players, that you don't have this issue, then you can play any partnership at the back. You can bring Tuanzebe in there, and you won't have the problem there, because you know who your midfielders are. So that's what it is for me. As much as I want to get onto Maguire, because Maguire's a problem. I hope people realize that's how bad of a problem he really is.
He is. It's a problem now. It is. I don't know what you think, Keenan, about Maguire being a problem. I think he is, with the price tag and everything. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, he's a big problem, man. As Coach said, he is a problem. We've got to look at the situation, man. 80 million from Leicester. They entered the negotiation rooms with Ed Woodward, and they thought, you know what? I'm going to take the piss out of you now, bro.
for this thing.
Rightly so, you know what I mean? Rightly so.
No, but let me say this though, this has been going on for years. Like, why are we still talking about price tag when it comes to Man United transfers? Because at the end of the day, because you are Man United, you're going to be paying over the odds for people because you're Man United.
But
you want to see the performances, though. No, but
I hear that. But what I'm saying is,
I know you're saying. Just quickly, just to answer Semps' question, I think it is a problem. You know what I mean? 80 million, giving the captaincy straight away off nothing. He's been given the captain's armband off his price tag, which is wrong in today's football. You know what I mean? But JB, what are you saying about transfers and that is Woodward? He's not a football guy. You know what I mean? He's a banker. If we all had millions of pounds in our bank accounts, he's the guy we want. You know what I mean? He'll keep us financially stable. You know what I mean? We won't go broke. We won't go broke. You know what I mean? But
no respect, man. I hear that.
Leicester, they pulled our arms off there, man. I'm sure the deal was supposed to be 50 million, and somehow it's gotten to 80.
It popped up to 80.
No, bro. You know what hurts me most about that? It's the fact that we paid all of it up front. There was no incentive.
That's why I heard it was one payment. That's what I was told. I was told it was one payment.
United got that mule up,
you had 80 million. You said, "Yo, take it." You put your hands and said, "Take it." My guy relogged onto internet banking and said 8 million, please.
some man got scammed by Nigeria, dude, bro.
But just to wrap it up there, like just to wrap it up, it's the J and Double. It's the little things, you know what I mean? You guys, you bought Van Dijk. What was it, 75?
Yeah,
75. Yeah,
you got Van Dijk 75 million. Class signing, but you guys and Klopp, you don't go and say, here's the captain's armband. You can do what you want with the ball. You can, it's minor little details like that where United aren't the club what they were. You know what I mean? Just comparing Van Dijk and Harry Maguire. Don't get me wrong. Van Dijk's in a league of his own compared to Maguire, but it's things like that. You know what I mean? Van Dijk didn't go in there thinking, I'm the big man here. Whereas you can sort of see Maguire, he's standing in that dressing room thinking, I came in for 80 million. My chest is out. I'm the captain, and what warrants that is just his price tag. Whereas if you look at Van Dijk's performances prior to him being injured, he's putting in captain performances without the armband, you know what I mean? And Maguire's not, Maguire didn't get that chance. He just walked in the door, and Ali just said, "You know what? You are the captain." You know what I mean? It's minor things like that, and
I thought United fans would be happy, man. I thought you like. I get you're trying to be objective with the whole scenario, but you're top of the league. You've just got a point at Anfield. Like, you're on a good run. You're in form, technically speaking. Despite the performance, you're in form. You're a form team. So, despite all of that, like I was expecting you guys to be happy. Like,
Look,
it's weird. It's such a weird one at the moment. Like.
Yeah, I'm calm, I guess.
Yeah,
and don't get me wrong, I'm not sitting here being Ollie this and I'm upset. It's not even that. Do you know? Even here, look where we've come from. Do you know what I mean? We're doing well. We're top of the league. But I think we're at this position now where I'm not gonna start going OTT about our performances and where we are. I won't go as far as to say what some donuts have said, that we're in a false position. We're not, because we've earned the right to be where we are. Do you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, we all know football is fine margins, and football can change like that. And when you look at the league table, it can change like that. That's what I'm saying. So
we're fourth. We're fourth. 2 weeks ago, we were first.
Exactly. It can change. It can change just like that. You know, we're what? If Man City win their game in hand, they go top. Yeah. You know, I think we're 2 points ahead of Leicester, is it? You know, I think what is it? Spurs now, or are we just 3 points ahead of Spurs now or something? I'm not even sure. But it just changes all of the time. So I would have always taken a point, but I'm just thinking long term, we have to see some improvements. That's all I'm saying, because I don't want us to drop. I don't want us to embarrass ourselves from this position, people. That's where, I want to get to the end of the season and say, all right, we're top 4 and we've given a good account of ourselves. Even if we don't win it, which I don't expect us to, but don't embarrass us from this seat. Don't embarrass us from here. Don't drop out of the top 4. Don't do a Leicester. Do you know what I'm saying? Because if that happens, my life ain't worth living. It's long. It's long.
Semps Keenan coach as well. Do you know something one of my Man U friends said earlier, and why he was angry about the fact you didn't win today? He wanted you lot to clock up as many points as possible before you go into the Europa League. Because he doesn't know how much you're going to be able to handle and maintain the away performances, especially and whatnot, with the whole Thursday, Sunday thing. Because the juggling about the team, it could all go pear-shaped and whatnot again. So this is your bracket here. You win here today, go 6 points ahead of Liverpool. You don't need to worry about them for that. You get what I'm saying, bruv? You know what I mean? And then obviously, if City drew with Palace today, you lot would have come on here and been different in terms of the way you're talking. But in hindsight, I understand, listen to you guys, why you're frustrated, because you could have won that at the end today. And now you're sitting there thinking, you get me? Just so you don't win on Wednesday now, then it starts to look like we could have got this many points ahead and whatnot. So yeah, I get you. Before the game, we were taking a draw, but
I've got one more United question, and then we'll move back on to Liverpool. But Dash asked, should Cavani be a starter?
Yes.
Kojo, you're nodding your head. What do you guys think?
I don't think so.
He has to be. Sorry, Marshall can't finish. Bench him. Stop Cavani. Simple.
Oh, that's Semps' boy. He's his guy.
I know.
Yeah, he's my boy. He's my boy. And you know what I'm saying? But look, that's the question. Should Cavani be a starter? The thing is, Martial can still play in this team if Cavani plays, as we've seen. Do you know what I'm saying? So it don't necessarily mean that Martial has to be benched. But that's the question. Should Cavani be a starter? Me personally, has Cavani really performed when he's been starting games? Honestly, Kojo?
He's been more 40% good, 60% bad. So I'm not trying to big him up too tough either. But in terms of finishing, if you have Cavani and Martial in a one-on-one situation right now, my confidence in Martial is going down bit by bit, because
of course
he's not convincing in anything he's doing right now. That's the problem for me, you know. And when he does one good thing, he does 15 wrong, and that's what's worrying me about him right now. I just think just give him a break. In fact, just get him out of the team for a little bit. come off the bench here and there, let him make impact here and there, and hopefully he can find some bit of form. Because he scores one, you think, okay, it's coming, and then today, so yeah, or Burnley even. So yeah, stuff like that.
Keenan, what do you reckon?
I agree with Coach. I think Cavani, he should be getting more starts, and this is a free signing, and how many seasons has he got left in him? We don't know. But so far, he's adapted to the Premier League. He looks fit. He looks a good fit for United, considering our strikers, Martial, Greenwood, they haven't really got the movement and experience what he's got. So I do think Cavani's been a good fit, man. The only bad thing about it is his age and how long does he have at this top level, because the Premier League is competitive week in, week out. So we've got to think on what can we do with him, whilst we've got him, you know what I mean? We've got to use him, in my opinion. And obviously today would have been a good game to use him, but I think just use him as much as we can. If he's fit, he's got to play. For me, to be honest, he's got to play, man.
And I agree for those who think that I don't. I actually agree that Cavani should be starting. I think when he does play, he looks fit. He's always running around, closing down the centre backs, and I think that he should be given a consistent run of games. You know what I mean? It just goes back to the point that I was saying before, Kojo. It's changing every single week. 1 minute he'll be in, and then next week he'll be out. 1 minute Martial will be playing that through the middle. Next week he won't be. Pogba will be here on the left. This week he's on the right. Last week against Burnley he's central with Matic in the double pivot. It's too top and change. Play Cavani and let's see what he can do for a consistent, 5 to 10 games, and let's see what he's got. For me, he looks fit enough. We know his pedigree. He's done well against when he's come on. He's won us points against Southampton and other games. So and for me, I think it's difficult for players when you just come in and you're asked to perform. It doesn't matter who you are. You need consistency, and we are asking for players to be consistent when they don't play consistently. Do you get what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense. So I agree that he should be playing. Martial is not in good form. His overall game, in my opinion, has still been good, but he's not able to finish the chances at the moment. So you would rather the chances land to somebody like Cavani. Rashford, he's not playing well. Do you know what I'm saying? He could also hold a bench. Greenwood should be getting a little bit more game time. He hasn't played, but
he's a finisher. He's a finisher. Use him, man.
He ain't been playing. Yeah, he ain't getting no. He comes on today, 80-something minutes, 86 minutes. Do you know what I'm saying? Let's move on to the Liverpool, because this has been a bit heavy on United. Liverpool, man, who would you want to see come in this January window? Because I've heard that Klopp has said that you lot ain't signing a centre back.
Because we're broke.
You ain't got that money now.
What's that, broke?
What are you saying about the January transfer window? Do you think you need to make a difference, Liverpool man? Them?
Oh, definitely. We need to get a centre half, because he's shown with the last 2 league games by not starting Phillips or Williams that he's got no confidence in them to play them games. So Phillips did okay against Tottenham. He got caught by 2 Bergwijn chances, but apart from that, he's at 19. Yeah. He's just come from being on loan at a conference team. I think he's done quite well when he's played, but he's shown he's got no confidence in him. If you're using your 2 influential midfielders in as centre halves, so you got to buy a centre back. They've got no P. Liverpool have lost a lot of. Every team has lost money. If they wanted to, Chelsea, because obviously they had the embargo before, could spend some P in January. But we were frugal anyway, bar Van Dijk. A lot of the money that we spent has been from Michael Edwards' wizardry in negotiations and getting money in 20 million for man them that are like 4th and 5th choices. You get what I'm saying? Even our Danny Ward, when he was our 3rd goalkeeper, we sold him to Leicester for 12 million. Right. You know what I'm saying? So unless we were hoping, if we were to maybe buy someone, Wolves wanted Origi. until they know they can get Jimenez back. But now they've brought Crotone back from loan at Fiorentina, so Origi's just going to sit there. So I honestly don't know what we're going to do, because Klopp's not really a loan man, apart from, I don't remember him doing a big loan since his first
Stephen Colker.
Thank you, Stephen Colker, when he's first, and even then, though, he was a centre half, we were using him as a flipping striker. You get what I'm saying to me? So I don't know. It looks like we're stuck, and until that gets addressed, Matic will be back soon. And I think if Matic played today, it would have been completely different. But with having Hendo and Fabinho in the midfield, but yeah, it's just a bit messy at the moment, man. I just want Thursday to come as soon as possible and see us put the ball in the back of the net, because this is stress. Because then we got you lot again on Sunday. We gotta get away from you, man. And we know how.
Is that OT as well?
Say that again?
Is that OT?
Yeah,
it's at OT. It's at OT.
Just for the kids, man. Just forget about it. Just put the kids in there. Don't worry about that game.
We go hard against Burnley on Thursday night. You know how Cup is with Cups. If we name a strong team for Burnley on Thursday, fam, I don't know what team's gonna play in the Cup, you know, and getting turned over.
John, what do you reckon about your transfers? What do you reckon about your transfers? Do you think
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned it earlier. Like, no league team has won the league without, a serious centre back at the back. And right about now, we've got our best DM and our best midfielder in Hendo at the back. And I just think it affects the way we play so much that it's only going to be to a detriment. If I was to be honest with you, I was hoping that Reece Williams would have started tonight. And the only reason why, and people might be like, why? He's 19, he's slow, this, that, and the other. But what that would have done, it would have allowed Jordan to go further forward, support Thiago in junior midfield, because I believe that we would have had more control of the game, maybe made some better chance with Hendo's energies, intensity, everything he brings to the team, but playing in midfield. And I just feel that we lack that, having to play him at the back, as a centre back, and he's not a centre back at the end of the day. He shouldn't be keeping clean sheets to Man United. He should be pushing the team forward, innit, from the midfield, and that's what I expect from my captain. So, yeah,
I hear you, man. For me, Origi winds me up, and I'll tell you why he winds me up. He's 25 years old, and he's won the Premier League,
everything,
Champions League.
Everything.
He's won everything.
Yeah.
Flipping go somewhere and play football, man. What are you dealing with? Just sitting on the bench. Nah, man, I can't rate that. What are you dealing with? You're 25 now. I can understand if you're old, you know what I'm saying? But you've won everything now. Go somewhere and play regular football. What are you doing sitting on the bench all the time and getting next to no minutes? Do you know what I'm saying? So
he's getting hefty wages. Semps is getting hefty wages though, man. But my problem with him is that, don't get it twisted, I've got mad love for him for the important goals he scored. I'm not just talking about when we've won stuff. Back when we got to the Europa League final with the 15-16 season, he was actually Klopp's first choice striker in the second part of the season. But then he got injured, then Sturridge came in, and then Sturridge started doing a madness. So it's one of the ones he led the line, especially when we knocked out Dortmund in both legs. He held up the ball really well, led the line really well. But then what's happened is that he's had games where he's played poorly since then, but then he scored goals in them. So after ask any Liverpool fan, obviously I didn't know Semps these times. After we won the Champions League, I said, sell Origi now. We can get 40 million. We can finesse someone for 40 million for his heroics and the important goals he scored. We didn't. Now it's no. You're meant to be an impact guy off the bench. He's not scored off the bench in 40 league matches or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But his only goals have been from the start. So get him out. And now this market with this COVID business has affected the market. He's just going to just sit there.
One thing I have to say about Origi though, when you think about when he was playing for Klopp, but when Klopp first came into the team, we play a different way of football now, and I feel like the football that we play is now evolved, and he doesn't fit into the mold that what Klopp wants for. That's why, like a guy like Jota, he can come into the team and almost seamlessly, transition into playing well. Whereas when you look at Origi. Sometimes he plays on the left, but he does this idiot thing where he chops onto his left and chops onto his left and chops back onto his right to go top bins. But normally it's just air, bro. It's just air. Like
how many times do we release the ball to him in space and then he can play the ball to the middle and you want to do step overs?
he just
he gets me mad.
I'm like you, D. Like I love him. Like I thank him for everything that he done for the club. But I just think he doesn't. Unfortunately, he doesn't fit the mold. Because Klopp just uses him because he's there to use. He doesn't use him in there to affect a game or to. He's just another number. He's just like another body, so he can rest. Salah or Firms if he needs to. But other than that, he would. I'm telling you, if you gave Klopp the choice, he would play that front three every game for the rest of the season.
Yeah, of course.
I'm telling you, bro.
The only defense I'll have for Origi is that, as you said, John, certain times he plays on the left or the right. When Firmino wasn't scoring, and the joke is everyone says he's the system in regards to Firmino, but he's not even pressing and winning the ball as much as he has in previous seasons. So if Klopp had the confidence, play Origi in the centre, but he doesn't put him there. But then Jota comes, using Jota immediately. So if you're not confident in the brother, then flipping sell him, and let's reconstruct the team in other areas. It's so frustrating.
Yeah. Well, boys, we're gonna wrap up now. Anyway, just final say then, because we're coming up to basically the halfway point in the season. Manchester United are still top of the league. It's still nice up here. But where are we thinking, Man United fans, Kojo, Keenan, where are we thinking that we can realistically finish? John and Double D, where do you think that you guys are going to finish? Kojo, what do you see happening between now and the end of the season for United? If you had, obviously so much can happen, but if you had to make a judgment call, what do you reckon?
Okay. Play Matic. Play Pogba. Play Bruno. And Cavani. And leave McPassion and Uncle Favela on the bench. And I'm sure we can get top 3 at the minimum. That's what I would hope for. If this
minimum,
minimum. I think we can do minimum because everyone's inconsistent in this league. But Spurs are going to drop loads of points. Leicester will drop points eventually. Everton will drop points. So yeah, you play the Serbian master and the French World Cup winner and the guy that dropped a 2 today. It's kind of hard to pretend to play, but play them guys in the midfield. I think you'll be fine. You play the other lads, and then I prefer not to speak.
Hey, big up.
Go on, Double D. No, I'm
just going to say big up Kendall, because even she commented before that coach is straight to the point. Semps has asked the question. He thought a coach was going to build it up. He just went straight in there, boy.
I know.
He's taking heads off, man. Pick this man. Stop.
Blunt knife Kojo, boy. You know what I mean? Straight blunt. What are you saying about Man United between now and the end of the season? What do you think is where we're going to end up and ting?
Just going off the competitions we're in. Premier League, I think first to third we'll finish up. Not quite sure. I'm dreaming that we finish in first, but I think a reality is second, third, if I'm being real. Europa League, get to the semis and then I'll say, man.
Then we'll see, innit? Take it from
FA Cup. Don't know, man. I reckon we can win that. There's a reality that we can win that, I think. But yeah, man, that's just it. As Cole said, get Favela Fred out, get Maxsource out. Free Donny van de Beek, man. Free Donny van de Beek.
Just for any Man United fans watching, just like me, I'm not really bothered about Europa League. So EastEnders comes out at 7:30. Get involved. It's back to TV. Looks like Ian's gonna die. So if you good TV, come watch with me.
Free Donny van de Beek. If we can get Van de Beek in the starting 11 somehow, play Cavani more often,
Mm.
and get Mason Greenwood on that right, man. I think we got a good chance at the Premier League. You know what I mean? But yeah, man.
Okay. Liverpool boys, I think you guys have already said in it. John, you still think that you're going to win it? Realistically, do you really believe that, or do you just hope?
Oh, obviously it's a hope. Like I'm not silly to kind of like what's happening in the club at the moment, the year that we're in right now, and kind of all the other aspects surrounding the club. But at the same time, I still think we still play good football. We still create chances. We're in a bit of a spot of bad form at the moment. So, you know, if we can sort it out, then we should definitely be able to still challenge for the league. I know, you know, I don't see no reason why not. So, yeah.
Fair enough there. Fair enough. Double D.
Yeah, we'll definitely still challenge. But as I said, unless we sort it out, I think it's City's league. I think, though, if you it's a funny season. If you asked me 2 months ago who I think the top four is, I would have said it would have been not necessarily in this order, but I said it would have been Liverpool, Man City, Tottenham, and Chelsea. But now things are being flipped on their head now, and United will be disappointed if they can't squeeze top two. But if they don't, unfortunately, obviously the good position you got yourself into, it will be Ollie's fault, because as you're saying about the selection and the continuity, you lot are keeping more clean sheets now, but some games have been won because of individual moments. So in terms of us, what we do in the market will define where we come within that top three. So if we get a centre half, then I think we could still win the league. But if you ask me to put money in it right now, my money would be with City. So we need to make sure that we are the closest team to City. We've got them coming up. I think it's first game of February. If we don't beat them, things are looking real bleak right about now. Champions League, of course, there's a chance. FA Cup, I don't know. Because the team I think we might put out, we might lose on Sunday to United. Not to be, I don't like being pessimistic, but just to say that. But yeah, we still got a chance. I think we can still win the trophy this season. Any hopes of this Liverpool team? There's some it's a great team, but I don't think we should get as many. We're going to end up getting as many trophies as we should have because of the way we've reacted. We've been, because of Klopp is so close in regards to with the fitness team and that, he's very smart in terms of the minutes he gives players. So that's why we've been able to avoid injuries. But then everyone gets them. You can't legislate for Jordan Pickford coming out to the madness and bucking up.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So therefore now we've seen that reacting to getting injuries, we've not done it as well as we could have. And that could end up costing us the title. But if we go out and buy, we'll still have a chance, you know what I'm saying? But at the moment, I think it's City's title.
Cool. Well, gentlemen, as always, thank you very much for blessing us with your presence. I appreciate you all coming on. If you can just sign out and let the viewers know where they can find you. Keenan, start with yourself. Let them know where they can find you, your platform. Plug that shit.
Twitter at KE Latouche and Red Talk TV, man. We're there on YouTube, we're there on Twitter. That's where you can find me at. Wicked. Double D.
Double D at Double D DUB ULDEE, and I'm part of the D&D Football Factory, who are on Top FM on a Saturday morning, 10 a.m. That's 95.5 FM in London. But if you're not there, probably best to get it on the TuneIn app. And yeah, man, get involved.
95.5 FM. Coach.
Catch me, my podcast at Free Midfield on Twitter and the audio places, Spotify and the rest of them, and on YouTube, Free Midfield Podcast. And also big up Footy Says as well. Footy Says on YouTube, FS and Cut on Twitter. Come and get involved. Interviews, reviews, everything. We're there, so yeah, come shout us. Wicked. And last but not least, JB.
You can catch me on Twitter at JDwele, JDWELE, and the same for Instagram as well. Love Semps.
Jay, we need to see you more active on Twitter, man. Get on there, man. Get into football. man. It's fun. It's annoying as well at the same time. Still,
See what I'm saying, bro? Like,
fun.
my emotions will be up and down every week, every minute, bro. You get it? So
Trust me. But you know what? As I said, thank you very much, people. Those were my pundits. This is Everyone's a Pundit. Until next week, we
Come on.
are out.